We are Ben and Fee, and this is Yabá, our floating home.
But she didn't always look like this. When we found her, she was very close to being lost forever. So we took her to the one place that could save her. What followed were 4 years of learning, rebuilding, failing, fixing, and starting again. Side by side with local shipwrights who taught us everything they know. And then, almost 2 years ago, we finally launched.
Life at sea has been incredible, but the maintenance clock never stops ticking. Now it's time for a haul out, and what better place to do it than the shipyard we love most?
The only catch is that shipyard is 250 miles from where we are now, so it's time to point the bow south. You guys have seen me and MP trying to tape this sail once before, which was quite disastrous. So now I've ripped off all the tape, and I'm actually going to stitch it, or do my best at stitching it, because we want to sail down. We don't want to be motoring the whole way. So wish me luck with this. I'm just going to make it strong enough so that we can make it down, because we're going to get new sails, and off we go tomorrow first thing.
How would you call your work of art?
Like new. Sail prep for us isn't just making sure everything's strapped down, we've got enough food, water, and like a plan. We need to stitch sails every single time. So I'm gonna just leave it like this, then I'll tape over it just to give it some more strength, and then I'll start on this one, then on this one, and then I'll see what I do with that one.
We're counting days for new sails, right? The last time we filled up diesel, I think it was like 6 months ago, but as we're getting ready for this 300 nautical miles trip, it's nice to have the tanks full just in case. And now we're getting ready to dock, and I think that after our yacht master training, we are feeling more and more confident to dock at the gas station, fill up our tanks, diesel and water, and then we'll be good to go.
Let's see if all this docking practice has made docking this boat easier.
Once again, my job is to stay here in the engine room, just checking once the tank is full enough for me to say stop with enough time for it to not overflow. That's the trick. I'm ready.
All good?
Flowing in, no leaks. You can stop!
If you've been watching us for a while, you know we've got one entrance for each tank, one over here, which we just filled, just under 200 litres. And the next one we're going to start here, and then we have one around that corner as well. And hopefully have it for maybe a year now. We will have the new sails. It's 600 and just over 600 litres total.
We're about to reach the 100, 150. My goal is to get here to the 200. 200, 200.
Okay, do the last one.
To the other side, let's climb this.
Last tank here on port side, and then I think we're going to fill up the jerry cans as well. Oh, I need a prize for that. My wrench will do. going.
I see. Get ready. Yeah, nice. I think it's fair to say that docking went fine. Now
Undocking or leaving the dock.
undocking, leaving the dock.
With the big yachts behind us, so let's go forwards the way we didn't learn.
And there is a schooner there too.
We'll be fine. Easy peasy.
Do you want me to do it? Nah, you do it.
There's that.
Nice. What did you say? In case you're curious, because I certainly was very curious, we filled up 545 liters of diesel, and I already did the calculations to dollars. That was approximately $740 divided by the 6 months that it took us to fill up again. It's $120 more or less every month, and our goal for 2026 is to bring that at least to half, because with the new sails you're gonna be able to sail way more and use way less diesel. Anyway, I just wanted to share with you the prices that we had here. I don't know if it's similar to where you are. And also, you see all these mooring buoys here. I asked and they were $100 a day to stay there, like every night. I thought that was a lot. Or am I being cheap? Is that a normal price in your region? I would love to know, because now that we're going to start exploring new places, I want to know how the prices compare to where we are. So it was $7.19 the liter of diesel. And wait, let me check how much that is in dollars. Give me a second. Da-da-da-da. You put like this song when you're on the phone, on the line, waiting for the company to answer. $7.19. $1.36 the liter of diesel. What do you think? And then the total was $740, which is approximately $120 every month spent with diesel. Hopefully loads of sailing and zero diesel being spent from now on. And I forgot to mention, we filled up the water too, and that was free.
Alrighty, beautiful day. The plan was to leave tomorrow. We're at 16 knots and increasing right now, and it is tipping it down. And there is a shit ton of lightning. So let's wake up tomorrow, see how this evolves, or it might even just calm down and become flat as tomorrow. Either way, nothing we can do about it now. If anything, we just wait a bit. These things tend to not last too long. We just filled up the water tank. We could have done that now. Look at that. Everything has come down already, and I think we're being invaded by this water here. Now, this is actually the normal water color, and because it was a massive northeast storm, it brought in lots of nice transparent blue water from the open ocean. But now it is over. Today we are leaving Yabá. Quite excited to start heading south to get all these jobs done. They've just been piling up over the last 2 years, and hopefully at the shipyard we can get them done in, I've been saying a week, but it might be 2 weeks, and then we head straight back up. Mainly the anti-fouling, work on the rudder, add some extra strength to it. You'll see soon. We'll go in depth soon what's going to be needed. And also, if we can autopilot, we've been talking to some people here who've come up with some really good ideas. And Itajai, or where we lifted the boat initially, is the place to get that done. So I'm just going to check the gearbox oil, check the engine oil, check the rudder cables, and then we can... Do you think we can leave then? Yeah, right? Gearbox oil is good. Engine oil, which is over there. We're good on gearbox, okay? Also very good on the engine oil. When we lift the boat, we'll do the full swap, but it's looking good. So our first destination, if the wind stays this calm, is only going to be 50 miles away because we don't want to be motoring too much. We'll wake up nice and early tomorrow and then we'll head over to, hopefully that's at least what we've planned, Sheltered Island, Island of Shelter. So that's another 100 miles away. What's that, 20 hours? And then we'll maybe pop down in São Francisco do Sul, South San Francisco technically, the Brazilian one. See some friends, wait for 2 low pressure fronts to pass and then we'll head to the shipyard. And then I think we can get going. She said nice. Always check if water's coming out.
Look at his face. His teeth.
We are arriving, and it's really nice because normally the last 2 times we have done this trip in one go, and it's just something you don't look forward to, especially without an autopilot. The sun is setting on the first day. We're arriving at hopefully a nice anchorage, and then tomorrow, the crack of dawn, we are gonna do an overnighter, but then it's only one overnight, and then it's gonna be like so much more relaxing, and we're gonna enjoy the journey a lot more, I think. And hopefully on the way up, who knows, depending on how much we can get done, maybe we'll have some type of an autopilot. You think? Nah, that would be cool, but let's keep thinking about it. Then you can just go straight line, press a button, keep watch without. It is exhausting keeping an eye on that needle at night because you have no other reference point. Anyway, it's a beautiful anchorage, hopefully, in a place called Balneario Praia do Pereque. So spend a nice night, wake up, continue.
Someone's happy we're arriving. Hey, Lick. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Meters by the gypsy. We are ready. What is the first priority once we anchor?
Walk the dogs. To be well behaved. So we're just gonna bring them to the nearest beach. Look at this, they already know.
They already know.
Let's not get your life jacket all wet.
They're so ready.
The trick is when you arrive in a place that you don't know, don't act too gringo. During our trip yesterday, I spent a lot of time stitching this, so now that it's calm-ish, the next morning we're going to bring it up and use it on the next leg. So let's get this to the bow and get sailing. Now last time we taped the sail while it was up and it was a disaster. By having it flat on the table, I managed to stitch it. You can see there was one tear right next to the other. This is just a bit of tape, and this bit here was a mess. And then the other side, while it was on the table, which is good advice for you, don't do it hanging up. We knew that in the beginning anyway, but we did it anyway. And the other side, I taped it just for some more reinforcement. So if it rips, it's not going to be here. It'll probably rip somewhere else, but this is now the strongest part of the sail. That is here. Okay. Okay, not an ideal foul.
Quite
I just want to see
floppy.
if it did foul, because you don't want to get stuck with an open sail when you don't need an open sail. This is going to be unfurled in about 10 minutes,
Yeah.
because we're off.
Yay!
Now this is the strongest sail of all. Now I need to stitch the other 3. And then when I've stitched the other 3, I need to go back to this one. That's what it's been like for the last...
Hopefully by then we have new ones.
That's what it's been like for the last year or so. when you're sailing past Santos, which I think is one of the biggest ports in Brazil. You can tell by all the boats coming here, but normally passing a shipping lane, the most stressful thing is the ships. In this case, the most stressful thing so far has been avoiding flags and shrimp fishing boats, which are just trawling. The good thing is they're super slow, so it's quite easy to just pass in front of them. However, the nets, they just appear last second, and in the horizon I can see a massive 3-mast, and I think it's Cisne Branco, the Brazilian Navy frigate. It's heading out, so we might not be able to see it, but if we can cross it somehow, that might be really cool. It's got all its, it's not got its sails up or anything, but it is a beautiful ship. I think these are the last fishing boats. It's a straight line, probably another 22 hours until our next anchorage. I'm excited for that anchorage because it's known to be very beautiful. Turtles swimming around. Might arrive in the afternoon and leave the next morning, but we'll see. But that's the shipping lane of Santos. Massive. I think I can count like 40 ships there. Anyway, off we go.
It looks like a barracuda, but small.
Is it a baby barracuda? Oh well, that's it for now. Next. Okay, let's get a bigger one.
What you looking at? At the varnish that we are about to redo because it's time? Yeah, I'm also looking at that.
As the sun set by, we passed Ilha da Queimada Grande. Well, that's the official name, but it's better known as Snake Island, home to one of the highest concentrations of venomous snakes anywhere in the world.
Thousands of years ago, rising sea levels cut the island off from the mainland. With no ground predators left, the snakes that were there already multiplied freely. But with no ground prey left either, they were forced to adapt. So they moved upward, learning how to hunt birds. Over time, the snakes evolved faster-acting venom, adapted to stop their prey before it could even fly away. Today, the island is the only place on Earth where the golden lance-head viper exists. To protect this endemic species, and people as well, landing on the island is strictly prohibited.
From offshore, it's just another green outline on the horizon. But you better check your charts before thinking of stopping by. Okay, night watch is gonna start now. It's only 9 p.m. but I'm gonna sleep from 9 till 11 or 12 depending on how MP feels. And I want to furl this one and the one at the tip of the bowsprit because we're going quite downwind and I don't want to have the sails flapping about. And if I even feel like it, so we're going to keep this one open. I might even put the temporary spinnaker pole up just to keep it out, but we'll see. Let's start furling first. Nice and slowly, no rush. P's on the helm until 11. If she can make it till midnight, she does, and then I'll take over the next 2 or 3 hours. Now we had agreed on 2, then on 3, then on 2, and then in 3, and then we decided why not just do it based on how we feel. Minimum 2, and if you can do 3, if you feeling in the vibe, because once you're at it, you know. This is the last sail that's open. As you can see, we're going downwind, so it's kind of deciding which side to go on. Can't even see me anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the DIY spinnaker pole, push it all the way out, and use it as propulsion. We might get an hour and a half, 2 out of this sail. Should be lovely for the night. And there you have it, a DIY spinnaker pole. The really cool thing about this bamboo one is if the wind does get strong, or you just cut the rope and it falls in the water, or it just snaps by itself. So an extra few knots of wind with a nice downwind Genoa. I'm off to bed, sleeping close to MP, so she can always call me if anything. What do you think?
Very cool. Unexpected.
Whoa, we almost got 6 knots there. Anyway, see you soon.
It was a hot summer's night. Lord, we couldn't close our eyes. It was a hot summer night.
Good morning. Sun's come up, the wind's picking up. We've opened 1 sail already. I think until now it's been like 1.5 knots of wind. Depending on how the wind is this afternoon, because it's supposed to be really good, we might just anchor to walk the dogs on the beach and continue, because our final stop is, even though it's going to be the shipyard, we still have 1 more stop after this one, so which is about maybe 15 hours from this island. But yeah, 1 sail open, the engine has reduced revs. Island is in sight. It's going to be beautiful. It's very mixed feelings. Do we stay there if it's beautiful to make the most of the island, or do we make the most of the wind? I guess we'll anchor, bring the dogs to the beach, see what it's like, and then we'll make plans based on that. Anyway, let's go.
We are now arriving to Good Shelter Island. What a good name, isn't it? And our plan was to stay the night here and continue the trip tomorrow. But I think we're changing our minds about having a quick stop, bringing the dogs for a walk, and then continue. Because we're feeling not fresh, but keen.
Hey, there he is. I scared it. Our dilemma was, do we stay here for a night, leave tomorrow morning and arrive in our next destination at night, or do we continue going? And we saw there is a bit of wind picking up now, and tomorrow evening and after tomorrow there's going to be bad weather, which we don't want to be sailing.
Yeah, we want to arrive before the storm,
So we're going to jump in the water. The dogs have been for a swim. They jumped off the kayak and the stand up. Now it's our turn. Get fresh, open the sails and head to San Francisco. No, in Brazil there's a place called São Francisco do Sul, which is
Southern
San Francisco. And we'll hide out the bad weather there and continue down when that's done. It's now 4:15 in the morning and we might have been a bit early. We wanted to get here quickly because of the weather that's coming. We wanted to be inside the bay. Now we're crawling in at 3 knots so we can wait for the sunset to enter the big shipping lane. Sunrise, sorry. And it is eyes peeled. We've already gone over a floating net without any lights or flags on each side. The only reason I saw it was a floating net was when I was already going over it, you got all the white balls just sitting across the surface, and we are like 3.5 miles offshore. Don't you think that should have had some signals, some flags, some lights? Either way, 2.6 knots. Big ship in the port as a reference point. Just gonna slowly head over there. I'm looking forward for a good nap once we've arrived. These night shifts without autopilot are so draining. Imagine just staring at that compass. 2 hours. Because that's what we were doing, watches of 2 hours. Just stare at the compass needle for 2 hours, keeping your course. Anyway, keep my eyes peeled for more nets. And I'll show you guys when we're inside. We made it. Now I think we're gonna bring these guys to land and then catch up on some well-needed rest.
Yes, we are very tired, but very happy that we made it here.
It's funny because we've been inside, like I've been in Rio, I've been in Itajai River, and it's just hectic. Marinas, ports, ships, tugboats, fishing boats, and here they have the infrastructure. They have all the infrastructure, but it's so calm.
It's peaceful.
Maybe because we're early as well. I've just seen all the tugboats leaving. There's a big queue of ships waiting in front of the...
We had to go through them.
But anyway.
As we were arriving, I saw the first droplets in the water. So we're probably going to wait here a couple of days for the storm to pass. And then, Shipyard, here we go.
We are very excited. We're just exhausted.
Oh yeah, sorry. The lack of charisma is because we had lack of sleep. The charisma will be back soon.
Anyway, see you guys when we wake up. Go in. In.
Now, feeling fresher, clean and rested, we can talk more about how the trip went.
Yeah, we had a 5-hour nap, if I'm not mistaken.
It was really needed.
We had no clue of what time of day, or even if it was the same day.
We left Ilha Bela where we did our yacht master. From there we went to Guarujá, which was a 50-mile trip.
The reason we did that one is just there wasn't any wind predicted that day anyway, and we thought let's just get a head start on 50 miles, why not? So that the next day when there is wind, we can leave a bit closer.
Exactly. So it was a 10-hour trip, easy, spend the night there, great. Then we left Guarujá all the way here to São Francisco do Sul, and it was 200 nautical miles. Our initial plan was to stop halfway at an island called Bom Abrigo, Good Shelter, but then we just stopped for a stretch, and then we were like, okay, you know what, let's continue.
Because we stopped as the wind was dropping. We checked the wind forecast and the wind was going to pick up, so we said let's just not spend the night here and make the most of the wind, so we left and came straight here. Of course, the reason why we didn't just do it in one straight go like we did on the way up is before we were with 3 people. With 4 it would also be nice, because I think, long story short, is we don't have autopilot, which is something that every time we do a longer trip like this gets put higher and higher up on our
Like
list.
now is the number one thing we want. This was our first trip ever on Yabá, just the 2 of us with overnight.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the shifts, the ideal initially was
Watch.
3 hours each of the watch.
Yeah.
And then it went down to 2 because we were tired. And at the end, we're doing like 1 hour.
No, and there was 1 hour to arrive at this anchorage, and I went to MP and I said, MP, can you take half an hour because I'm falling asleep, and then I'll do the next half hour.
Yeah, we
So-
were feeling quite tired. Also, we didn't manage to sail as much as we wanted. The wind didn't pick up as the prediction said, so we ended up motoring quite a lot. And it was just tiring. So ideally now, number one thing, have an autopilot. It would change our lives. Of course, there's always going to be someone on watch.
Awake.
But doing this all the time with the compass, it was
Like, let's say you're
very
on watch
tiring.
for 3 hours. You can lie down, now and then have a look outside, look on the radar. Oh, there's a ship 4 miles away. Let's keep that in mind.
read a book.
Read a book again.
Check
go
the
check.
horizon every 15 minutes and not just stare at the compass non-stop for 3 hours. That's what made it super tiring. So we're
So-
very, very
yeah,
looking
so,
forward
an
to having
auto-
an autopilot.
An autopilot won't change the amount of time we're here. It will change the amount of time each of us is on watch, because we can handle longer watches, because then the other one will have a 3-hour non-stop sleep instead of
Yeah.
have 1 hour, maybe 2 hours.
And maybe you won't need a 3-hour non-stop sleep because you won't be that tired because you are not doing something that is so physically tiring.
So we've been talking to a lot of people. I think maybe now when we lift the boat, I'm going to remove the quadrant anyway and have a new one made, because this one is an old stainless one and I just don't trust it anymore. And then at the same time, let's talk to the welders about making an internal quadrant that we can then connect to the external one to then put the autopilot
The main
on.
reason we still don't have an autopilot is because our rudder here has an outside quadrant and we didn't find any system that would make that work.
Except for the one that you fasten onto the helm, which kind of steers but doesn't have the direct connection to the rudder. So let's figure that out soon. Anyway, the trip itself was very nice. We're in a really cool place. Now we can say it with a bit of enthusiasm. We're in a really
Look at
cool
those
place.
birds, they're red. What is that?
Red birds. See, just as you say, a cool place.
Oh, they're guaras on the other side.
Where? Can't see them. I still can't see them.
They're really far. You were too slow.
Okay, explain how cool they look, and then we'll put a picture on.
They were bright red. Guara. Very cool.
Okay,
And back.
and back. Look, a squirrel.
I always thought that, I always knew that you have ADHD, but I'm starting to wonder if it's contagious.
Everyone has it. Anyway, we are here in San Francisco do Sul. Why? Well, also we have a friend who says whenever you're coming past, come and say hi, which is what we're doing. But also, there was a big chance of thunderstorms today, which is why we kind of pushed through overnight. And tomorrow there will be a lot of south wind, low pressure zone coming in from the south, which we had to be sheltered anyway. And you don't really want to risk, can we stretch it the next leg and just hopefully make it in time? So kept it nice.
I also think it was the wise decision because we were starting to get tired.
Hallucinating. And I have never been to San Francisco do Sul, which I think is very cool.
Conclusions from the trip. We want an autopilot. We're glad that we managed to do it, just the 2 of us for the first time. And I need to highlight for a moment the doggies. We had, of course, one of us on the helm and the other in bed during the night shifts. And we had one dog with which one of us the whole time. Of course, Vicky was the one that was in bed all the time. And Caio was just sitting next to the person on the helm the whole night. He's such a best friend material. So it was really nice that we were always in company, even though we had to be separated.
But on top of the list, autopilot. Let's get that sorted. Or just have loads of friends on board who can take watch.
The next step now is to go to the shipyard. We are very happy that we're gonna see the guys again. Of course, we don't want to spend any time longer than we need. We just want to paint the bottom of Yabá, do this quadrant situation, and then leave again, heading north, and now without looking back.
It's time for real.
Desço a ladeira, vou na praia, vou no parque, vou na cachoeira. Vou na capoeira, vou de ginga e queixada sem tomar rasteira. Desço a ladeira, vou na praia, vou no parque, vou na cachoeira. Vou na capoeira, vou de ginga e queixada sem tomar rasteira. Vou na brincadeira, vou na roda, vou no samba, vou tomar a saideira. De qualquer maneira, cavaco e viola, vou na brincadeira. Desço a ladeira, vou na praia, vou no parque, vou na cachoeira. Vou na capoeira, vou de ginga e queixada sem levar rasteira.
What is it?
Acerola.
And it tastes like?
It's quite sour, and it's, I think, the fruit with most vitamin C in the world. Maybe I'm wrong. After kiwi, I don't know. It's very nice.
Our journey. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anchor drag alarm is on. Now, whether this was going to come or not, I'd much rather be safe in a bay like this than out at sea. We were literally 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, having a chat with a friend of ours, Wagner. He's the one who helped us with the anchor over here, and a lightning strike struck and the wind picked up to, it's only 15 now, but it picked up like that. Half an hour ago we were in town, not a breeze. 17, 18. So yeah, it's definitely picking up, but at least we've got the snubber out. We're going to lift the dinghy and have a nice cozy evening. How does that sound?
Amazing. That changed quickly.
But we're good. If we drag out. I think we've got like 4 miles that we can drag before we hit a container ship.
I hope we don't. So with this weather, and after all the miles that we've done, no better way to end the day than just watching something here in our cozy living room, make it a home cinema with the dogs, feeling safe instead of sorry. What else can I ask for?
It's off though.
Well, waiting for you.